NixOS is one of the most unique and powerful Linux distributions ever created, and yet it's also one of the most misunderstood. When people talk about stable, reproducible, and customizable operating systems, NixOS stands in a category of its own. Today, we're going to explore what makes NixOS truly special, how it works behind the scenes, and why more developers and system administrators are switching to it in 2025. Let's start with the basics. NixOS is a Linux distribution built on top of the Nix package manager, which follows a purely functional approach. What does that mean? Instead of modifying your system directly, everything in NixOS is defined in configuration files. Your entire system, packages, services, users, desktop environment is stored as code. This approach is called declarative configuration. You tell NixOS what you want, and it builds the system exactly as described. This leads to one of the biggest advantages of NixOS. If you install NixOS on one machine and later want the exact same setup on another, you simply copy your configuration files. Instantly, your new device becomes a perfect clone of your old one. Developers love this because it eliminates the classic "it works on my machine" problem. Another powerful feature of NixOS is atomic upgrades and rollback. Every system change creates a new generation, a snapshot of your system. If an update breaks something, or if you configure something incorrectly, you can roll back to the previous working state with a single command. No mess, no stress, no broken system. This makes NixOS one of the safest distributions for experimentation. Now, let's talk about packages. NixOS uses the Nix package manager, which isolates software through a unique approach called sandboxed. Packages don't conflict with each other because each one is stored in its own directory structure. This means you can have multiple versions of the same software installed simultaneously. Need 2 versions of Python? No problem. Want to test a newer version of Node.js without breaking your working environment? Easy. NixOS gives you that flexibility built in. Another thing people appreciate is how clean the system stays over time. Because everything is isolated, there's no dependency clutter. Unused generations can be garbage collected, keeping the system lightweight. NixOS also excels in system rebuilds. When you run the rebuild command, NixOS compiles or fetches the required packages and ensures that your system enters a consistent, known state. If something fails during rebuild, it never applies the broken change. This is one of the reasons why NixOS is becoming popular among reliability-focused users. Now let's talk about who uses Nix. It's extremely popular among developers, DevOps engineers, system administrators, and people who manage multiple machines. NixOS fits perfectly into environments where consistency, automation, and stability matter. But more recently, even regular desktop users have started adopting it because of its power and flexibility. Desktop support has improved a lot. NixOS can run GNOME, KDE Plasma, XFCE, and other desktop environments smoothly. Hardware support has also improved thanks to the NixFCG's community, which is one of the fastest moving open source communities out there. One of the most exciting developments in the Nix ecosystem is Flakes. Flakes bring a more modern, modular, and reproducible structure to configuration management. They make sharing, updating, and version controlling configurations easier. For teams working in cloud-native environments, Flakes are becoming the standard way to manage Nix-based systems. Speaking of cloud, NixOS integrates extremely well with server infrastructure. Tools like NixOps and deployrs make it simple to deploy entire networks or server clusters from declarative configs. Instead of logging into a server and manually configuring it, everything is deployed automatically from your configuration repository. This is DevOps on a whole new level. But with all these strengths, NixOS does come with a learning curve. It requires understanding how configurations work, how the package manager behaves, and how to structure your system. Most users say the first few days feel challenging, but after that, they never want to go back to traditional Linux distributions. Once you learn it, NixOS becomes one of the most empowering operating systems you can use. Another common misconception is that NixOS is unstable. In reality, it's extremely stable because every change is tracked, reproducible, and reversible. Problems usually come from user mistakes, not the system itself. And even then, rollback protects you. The community around NixOS is one of the strongest parts of the ecosystem. The documentation is detailed and improving constantly, and the community is active on GitHub, Matrix, and Discourse. Development moves fast, and the number of available packages continues to grow. Finally, the future of NixOS looks very bright. More companies are adopting Nix for internal tooling. More developers are migrating to reproducible environments. And with growing interest in DevOps, automation, and cloud-native deployment, NixOS is becoming an essential part of modern computing. It's not just another Linux distribution, it's a completely new way of thinking about operating systems. To wrap it up, NixOS is powerful, flexible, reproducible, stable, and incredibly few. If you're someone who loves customization, reliability, and automation, NixOS offers something no other Linux distro can match. It's a system that rewards curiosity and gives you complete control over your environment.